Very good morning, everyone. Welcome back to today's lecture on international business economics. And as discussed earlier, today we'll be dealing with and understanding what is the importance and the contents or components of the balance of payment. From every individual perspective or from the economic perspective, it is very important for an individual to understand what is the balance of payment and how a country maintains their respective books of accounts. Now, as in the regular scenario, we as a particular corporate and organization, we everyone maintain our respective books of accounts. Now, when we are maintaining the books of accounts, what do? We prepare our respective statements. Now, those particular statements may be called as the trading account, the profit and loss account, and the balance sheet. Along with simultaneous concern, we also prepare our fund flow statement, cash flow statements, and various accounts, books of accounts in the books of ledger, journal, and so on. So in this way, as a particular company or an organization maintains all these books of accounts, we as an individual are keeping a proper record as per the accounting terms and accounting norms. In the same way or in the same fashion, the country or the particular country or a nation as a whole also has to maintain the respective books of accounts, and they also maintain all the types of balance sheets, ledgers, journals, and so on. But at a broader scale or in a larger scale, it is called as the concept of balance of payment. So in this way, in today's lecture, we'll be understanding about what is a balance of payment and how the different countries or a country as a whole at a national level or at the global level on a broader perspective, how do they prepare the respective books of accounts. The various components with respect to balance of payment that also we'll be studying with and understanding in detail, and accordingly we will see what are the various types of accounts as in we prepare in the balance of payment. A country has to deal with various countries in order to respect with the following conditions. Now, whenever we speak about the various balance sheet of a particular company, there are various components called as asset and liability. We have a various components called as certain payment terms, which is either a debit perspective or which is either a credit perspective. In the same way, in terms of the balance of payment, we have different types or different components. That is, the first one is the visible item, second is the invisible item, and third is the capital transfer. The visible item, which includes all the types of physical goods exported and imported. Now, at this particular stage, we need to understand at a very perspective that whenever we are dealing with or understanding the concept of balance of payment, it is at a broader level, it is at the country level, and here at this stage, all the goods and services, all the transactions of a particular country are taken into consideration, and accordingly they are properly recorded. So just imagine what will be the contrast, what will be the component and the huge contribution of all these transactions at the national level or at the global level. So in this way, all the components with respect to the visible item. Now, what is a visible item? All types of physical goods. So whatever the goods and services that are into existence, whatever the types of exchange of goods is taken into existence, whether it may be related to the exports or whether it may be related to the imports, all the transactions are taken into consideration and they are properly recorded in a particular statement. Now, that particular statement is again a composite statement or a combinatory statement is called as an visible item, and all these things are recorded in balance of payment. Second perspective I have mentioned is invisible item. Now, what is an invisible item? Invisible item is a particular component or a particular account in which it includes all those services whose exports and imports are not visible. So there are certain types of goods and services wherein the imports and exports is not visible. It is in terms of a certain denomination, it is in terms of a certain product or a certain composition. So anything which cannot be seen, touched, feel, which is not tangible in nature, so those things are called as in services. So these particular types of invisible item, all those recordings are also called are also the components of the balance of payment, and it is also properly recorded in the balance of payment account. Now, the various examples for the invisible item may be the transportation services, the medical services, the insurance services, the software or the hardware that we are dealing with, and so on. So in this way, the components or the record of the invisible items is also maintained in terms of balance of payment. The next or the third perspective is the capital transfer. Now, capital transfer, which are concerned with the capital receipts and capital payments. So at the simultaneous level, what do we see and we can understand that a particular country or a nation undertakes all the transactions of the goods and services of the retail level. Now, import and export may be at the retail level, but if a particular company or a corporate is or a particular industry is demanding something or they are importing or exporting something, that it will be a called as a capital goods. That is your all your fixed assets, plant, machinery, furniture, fixtures, and so on, motor car, vehicles, all the fixed assets or the components wherein the capital expenditure is quite higher. Either you make a capital receipts for this concern or either you receive a capital payments for this particular concern. So all the transactions which are of a capital nature, having a huge quantity or a huge sum of amount, are also recorded in balance of payment. So major component that you need to understand while understanding the balance of payment is the components of visible item, invisible item, and the transactions of capital nature. Now, understanding the definition with respect to the balance of payment. So what is the traditional definition in terms of words, how we can define it? According to Kindleberger, the balance of payments of a country is a systematic record of all economic transactions between the residents of a reporting country and the residents of a foreign country during a given period of time. So within a specific period of time, for example, you may take either a month, either a quarter, either a 6 monthly or a half yearly or a particular year. So recording a systematic record of all economic transactions. So it is a particular situation or a case wherein you are recording all the economic transactions. Now, what are those economic transactions? The economic transactions are of visible nature, invisible nature, and of capital nature or capital transfer. So here in this particular definition, it is quite comprehensive and composite concern. So of all economic transactions between the residents of the reporting country and residents of the foreign country. So here we can see at this particular stage, it is the composition or it is a calculation or a contribution of the residents of all country or all the people at a simultaneous stage. So during a period of time, so whatever the period that you are calculating for, so for that particular duration or for that particular period, you can calculate all those transactions, and accordingly the record of transactions can be maintained and you can identify what is the financial position of your country. Again, in the same way as it is a part of an accounting perspective, it is a double entry system of record of all economic transactions between the residents of a country and the rest of the world carried out for a specific period of time. So here what we can understand that as we have the accounting perspective, in the same way, balance of payment is also having a certain perspective wherein a transaction, a particular goods or a particular services can be recorded in the form of double entry principle. So proper double entry system is into existence and all the transactions of the goods and services, all the transactions of a particular country are recorded in a certain form or in a certain mode wherein they are recorded on the basis of double entry system. That is, a proper system of debit and credit is into existence and a proper record of the economic transactions are there at a certain stage of time. Now, when we say a country's balance of payment, we are referring to a transactions of its citizens and of its government. So here you need to understand at this particular stage is whenever you are saying a balance of payment, always a balance of payment is related with respect with a specific concern of a country. So balance of payment is also always associated with a country. And whenever we are referring to the transactions of a particular country, it is referring to transactions of all the citizens. So whosoever are the citizens of a particular country, so all the transactions of a citizen and the transactions of the government are being recorded in balance of payment. So for example, as on today, if the population of India is 135 billion, that is 135 crore, and the composition of the government is of, for example, 28 to 29 states and the union territories. So all the transactions that have been conducted by all the people, which may be related to the either visible item, invisible item, or the capital transfer, everything will be recorded in terms of the balance of payment. So in this way, the transactions will be referring to a particular individual, referring to a particular citizen, referring to a particular company or a corporate or an industry or a particular sector, and the government perspectives also. So the government perspective here specifically means the state government and the central government. So whatever the transaction that has been conducted either by the government of Maharashtra, government of Delhi, government of Madhya Pradesh, government of Gujarat, government of Haryana, and so on. So all the state government as well as the central government. So any of the bill, any of the invoice, any of the goods that have been passed that is either exported or imported by the central government with the approval of the parliament, all the transactions of the citizens as well as the government are recorded in terms of the balance of payment. So here the balance of payment as the definition we have seen by the Kindleberger. Now let's look at the second definition that has been provided by the Reserve Bank of India. So the Reserve Bank of India defines the balance of payment as the balance of payment of a country is a systematic record of all economic transactions between the residents of a country and the rest of the world. It represents a classification records of all the receipts on accounts of goods exported, services rendered, and the capital receipts by the residents, and payments made by them on account of goods imported and services received from the capital transfer to the non-residents or the foreigners. Now, as we have seen in the earlier stage, it was composition of a double entry principle. Now, in terms of accounting, if there is a double entry principle, there is proper composition of a debit and credit. Now, whenever we say there is a debit and credit, there must be either receipt and there must be a certain terms of payment. Now, whenever there is a receipt concern that is into existence, now what are the parts of receipts of a particular country or payments of a particular country? So, in terms of the broader perspective or at the national level, it is in terms of the exports and imports. So, it is now here in this definition, you can see it represents a classification of records of all the receipts. Now, in what way a particular amount can be received by a particular component or a particular country? First thing, that is whenever the goods are being exported. So, whenever if we are exporting the goods and services, what will be the reverse situation at this case? The reverse situation at this case will be if the goods are going out of the country, we will be receiving a foreign currency in exchange. We will be receiving the payment. So we are at a certain position whenever we is having a receipt. So first component, that is in terms of exports, it is a receipt. Services rendered, if we are providing certain services to the outsiders, so at this particular stage again we are receiving a certain sum of money. So a part of goods, a part of services, and third a part of capital receipts. Now what is the terms of capital receipts? So if any capital goods or capital component is been exported out of our country, we are giving a certain services which is of a capital or a capital nature, then we are also having a receipt perspective. So in this way, the receipts are of three types: same composition, that is visible item, invisible item, and the capital composition. So first thing, receipts in terms of the of receipts. Next perspective, in terms of the payment. So in terms of payment, for example, now whenever you will be when you will be making the payment to a certain party, now in terms of the goods, now if you are importing certain goods and services, if there is a particular country, that is for example Europe or US or Europe or any other country, for example Japan. Now if you are importing any technology from Japan, if you are importing any goods and services from France, Germany, Russia, then these particular goods are called as an imported. We are bringing in the goods and services to our into goods and into our country, and in return what we have to make the payment to the interested party. So whenever we are making the payment, what happens? The capital, the money, the currency is going out of the economy, so it is a part of payment. So in this way, payment is into existence and the goods are being imported. So if you are receiving the goods, then we are making the payment to the interested party. Next perspective, now another part is the services. So if we are availing a certain services by another country or by another people which are located outside India, then what we have to do, if a particular vendor is providing you a certain services, we make the payment to him. So if you are making the payment, the currency is going out of the economy, the money is going out of the economy, and we are making the payment. So again, in parts of services. And lastly, the capital transfer. So if we are importing certain goods and services, that is any capital service, any goods and services that have been imported by foreign country to the Indian economy or to our domestic country to be specific, then this particular situation or scenario applies, wherein the services are also imported, the goods are also imported, and the capital account or the capital transfer is into existence. So in this way, the balance of payment situation comprises of all the transactions of the economic nature, which is either of an visible item, invisible item, or the capital composition that is into existence. Now, various features of balance of payment. So what are the various features with respect to balance of payment? First thing, it is proper systematic record of all economic transactions between one country and rest of the world. So here at this stage, you can see that balance of payment is properly, systematically and recorded. So in this way, all the economic transactions of a particular country, that is if you, for example, your country is India. So in this case, all the economic transactions are being recorded. So at this stage, the accounting principle of recording, classifying, analyzing, and bookkeeping and transacting, everything is been properly maintained or preserved. Second feature, it includes all transactions which are visible as well as invisible. So all the types of transaction which is either tangible or intangible, visible or invisible, whether it is imported or whether it is exported, whether it is receipt, whether it is payment, all types of transactions of a particular country is been recorded in balance of payment. Next, a third feature, it relates to a period of time. Generally, it is an annual statement. So it is specifically related to a certain period of time. So as we have periodicity concept in terms of accounting concepts and convention, same way balance of payment in the same fashion is also a periodic concern, wherein you can prepare a balance of payment for either quarterly basis, 6 monthly basis, or annually basis. But in a usual or a general perspectives, balance of payment is prepared on an annual basis, and we can find out what is the financial position of a country. Next feature, it adopts a double entry bookkeeping system. So a proper bookkeeping entry system has been recorded, and accordingly two-way effect, that is either a debit or either a credit, either a receipt or either a payment is been recorded, and accordingly the transactions have been recorded in the books of accounts of a particular country. Now, coming with the concern or coming with the feature of balance of trade and balance of payment. So, what we are seeing at this particular stage now, if there is a situation of either export or import, the export and import activity is always called an trade activity, wherein there is exchange of goods and services. So, there is a situation of either balance of trade or there may be a situation of balance of payment. So the difference between a country's imports and exports is called as a balance of trade. So balance of trade is the largest component of balance of country's balance of payment. So it includes, so balance of trade includes what? So balance of payment, what does it include? Under the current consent of the balance of payment, we have another component that is called as a balance of trade. So debit items of the imports, exports, foreign aid, domestic spending abroad, and domestic investment abroad are the components of the domestic or the components of the debit item. Now, what are the credit items in the balance of trade? Credit item includes the exports, foreign spending, the domestic economy, the foreign investments in the domestic economy, and so on. So all the components with respect to the debit, all the components with respect to the credit of either the imports and exports, either the visible and invisible item are being recorded, and which is specifically related to the only exports and imports, only goods and services. It is called as the component of balance of trade. When exports are greater than imports, then BOT, that is balance of trade, is favorable. And if imports are greater than exports, then it is an unfavorable situation. So a positive balance of trade is a favorable situation, and a negative balance of trade is an unfavorable situation. A positive balance of trade, that is a positive balance. That is, if your exports are greater than imports, that is, if your exports are positive and imports are negative, then the balance of trade situation is favorable. If your imports are greater, that is imports is positive and exports is negative, then the situation is unfavorable, then your situation is into negative perspective. Balance of trade versus balance of payment. The balance of payment takes into account all the transactions with the rest of the world, whereas the balance of trade takes into account all the trade transactions. So what is the major perspective? Major perspective is the balance of payment, and minor perspective is the balance of trade. So balance of payment situation, balance of payment takes into consideration all the transactions of a particular country. So transactions may be either visible, invisible, capital transfer, whatever item may be related to a situation, citizen, a country, a particular state, a particular government, and so on. So a broader perspective, a large perspective is balance of payment, and a smaller perspective, a minor perspective is the balance of trade, wherein only trade transactions have been undertaken or been recorded. So the differentiation between the balance of payment and balance of trade. First thing, a balance of payment is a broader situation and balance of trade is a narrow situation. It includes all the transactions related to the visible, invisible, and capital transfer. So what does the balance of payment include? All the component with respect to the visible, invisible, and capital transfer. But the balance of trade only includes the visible item, that is the exports and imports, which are of visible nature. It always balance itself. So balance of payment is always balancing itself. So there may be a surplus, there may be a deficit, whatever may be the situation, but the balance of payment gets balanced automatically. But in case of balance of trade, it does not get balanced automatically. It is having either a positive situation or either a negative situation, wherein it is called as either favorable or unfavorable. The main factors which affect the balance of payment are the conditions of the foreign lenders, the economic policy, and the government policy with respect to the factors of balance of trade. But in terms of the balance of trade, the main factors are the cost of production, the availability of raw material, the exchange rate, and the price of the manufactured goods and services in the domestic country. So in this way, different components, different participants are there in terms of the balance of payment and balance of trade situation. general rule in the balance of payment accounting. So what are the various rules in balance of payment accounting? If a transaction earns foreign currency for the nation, it is a credit and it is recorded as a plus item. And if a transaction involves spending of a foreign currency, it is a debit item and it is been recorded as a negative item. So at any stage or at any point of time, if your foreign currency is at a receipt position, that if you are receiving a foreign currency, then it is a positive situation, it is a credit situation. But in reverse situation or a reverse case, if your foreign currency is reducing, if your foreign currency is at a spending stage, that is your foreign currency is going out of the economy, then it is a debit situation, it is a negative situation, and it is an unfavorable situation. So general rule in balance of payment accounting: input of foreign currency, receipt of foreign currency is a positive item, is a credit item, and spending or going out of a foreign currency is a negative item, is a debit item in terms of balance of payment. Now, coming with the various components, that is the various components of balance of payment. So whenever we say that is a financial statements of a particular company, we understand that the various financial statements of a company are trading account, profit and loss account, balance sheet, cash flow, fund flow, appropriation account, and so on. So in this way, it is called as the combination or a bulk of financial statement. So in this way, what are the various accounts or what are the various statements that have been prepared in balance of payment? The various components of balance of payment are: first thing, the current account; second thing, the capital account; third is the reserve account; and fourth is the error and omissions account. So in this way, various accounts are prepared in terms of balance of payment, and the transactions have been recorded in each individual account as and when it has been prepared. Now, let's look at the first perspective, that is current account balance. So balance of payment on current account is a statement of actual receipts and payments in a short period. So whenever we are preparing the balance of payment, if we are recording the transactions for a very shorter period and a particular statement in which actual receipts and payments, so whatever the amount that has been either recovered and whatever the amount that has been actually paid by a particular country or by a particular vendor or by a particular citizen, these particular transactions are recorded in the current account. Next perspective, it includes the value of exports and imports of both visible and invisible goods. So whatever may be the valuation of your exports, whatever may be the valuation of your imports, either the composition of the visible nature or invisible nature, if all the transactions have been recorded, then these particular transactions goes into the statement of current account. There can be either surplus or deficit in the current account. So now here at this stage, we can identify and we can see that balance of the current account balance may have either a positive balance or may have a negative balance. So a positive balance in the balance of current account balance is called as a current account surplus, or a negative balance or a negative statement of current account balance is called as a deficit current account. So either it may be a surplus situation or either it may be a deficit situation. The current account includes the exports and imports of services, interest, profit, dividend, and unilateral receipts or payments from the country to the abroad perspective. So in this way, there are various components of the current account also. So in this way, the various three balances of the now what are the various three balances that have been maintained in the balance of payment? First thing is the merchandise balance, second thing is the services balance, and third is the unilateral transfer balance. So in this way, the different three types of balance of payments account have been maintained, and accordingly, we can conduct or undertake all those transactions of current account nature, wherein the current account specifically focuses on the actual receipts and payments for a shorter period. Now, what are the various types of balances that have been maintained in current account? First thing, the trade balance. Now, with respect to the trade balance, first thing we have, that is A perspective, is the merchandise exports and the services exports. The merchandise exports of exports and imports of the goods, and the services exports and imports of goods that is into existence. Now, with respect to the income balance, we have net investment income, which is the net income receipts from assets. So whatever the asset that has been sold by an organization or by a particular company or by a particular citizen, all the income balances of the capital receipts or the capital nature are being recorded in the income balances. And lastly, the net unilateral transfer, that is the gift from foreign countries minus gifts to the foreign countries. So if at any stage or any point of time, if any of the goods and services are been received in form of gift also, so all the transactions, all the goods and services of the gift form are also been recorded in the balance of payment, and accordingly the transactions are been calculated the valuation perspective. So you may have a positive balance which is a surplus in the current account, or you may have a negative balance which is a deficit in the current account. Second account that we have to prepare is the capital account balance. So the capital account records all the international transactions that involve the residents of a country changing either his assets or his liabilities to a resident of another country. So in this way, whatever may be your capital account, which is either related to your capital asset or the capital liability. So in this way, the transactions of capital nature, which is either of a asset perspective or a liability perspective, are being recorded in terms of the balance of payment situation. Capital account balance, again, it is a difference between the receipts and payments on account of capital account, and it refers to all the financial transactions. These particular financial transactions may be either for a capital inflow or capital outflow that is into existence. The situation can be either for a short term, can be either for a medium term, or can be either for a long term. So in this way, you can record the transactions for either a 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, or maximum for a 1 year. Why? Because we are preparing the entire balance of payment is been prepared for a particular year as a certain perspective. The capital account balance, same as of current account balance, may have a positive balance or a negative balance, and the positive balance in this capital account is called as a surplus, and the negative balance in the capital account balance is called as a deficit. So a positive situation, a profitable situation, is a surplus situation, and a negative situation, a loss making situation in the capital account, is called as a deficit situation. Again, the classification into various categories of capital account is the direct foreign investment, that is a FDI, portfolio investment, and other capital that is into existence. Now, let's look at the third perspective, that is the reserve account. So under the reserve account, we have three types of account, and those three types of account that have been prepared in the reserve account are: the first thing, that is IMF, that is the International Monetary Fund. Second is the SDR, that is the special drawing rights, and third is the reserve and monetary gold. So three perspectives or three types of account have been prepared in the reserve account. First thing is the IMF, second is the SDR, and third is the reserve and monetary gold perspective as a part of reserve account. For the IMF account contains the purchase and credits of the receipts, and that is the receipts and debits, the credits and credit and debit, receipts and payments from the IMF, that is International Monetary Fund. So whatever the contribution that we are making towards the IMF, whether it is a positive contribution, whether it is a negative contribution, whether we are making a receipt, whether we are making the payment. So all the transactions with respect to the IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, are the part of the reserve account. Second thing, the special drawing right. So special drawing right it is a part of a reserve asset created by the IMF and allocated from time to time to the member countries. So whenever we see at a certain situation, that is the international payment between the monetary authorities or the two different countries into situation, the special drawing right is being applied and it is being used. So a special drawing right, so that is if you are maintaining a certain reserve with the IMF, now you may at a certain point of time, you may withdraw those reserves. So if you are withdrawing those particular reserve, then it is a decrease, that is it is a debit situation. Now if you are adding to your special drawing right, if you are increasing your SDR, that is special drawing right, it is a positive situation, it is increase in the credit situation of a particular country. So in this way, an SDR may also be a positive, or an SDR may be also be negative. Next perspective, that is the fourth concern is the errors and omission. So the entries under this head relates mainly to the leads and the lags in the reporting of transactions. So at any stage or at any point of time, if any of the transaction or the goods and services or the visible or invisible item is not recorded, then all the transactions which are not recorded comes under this perspective, and they form the composition or the part of the accounts of errors and omission. So in this way, the transactions which are not the component or not the parts of the errors and omissions are either the transaction which does not form the part of either the current account, capital account, or the reserves and surplus account. It comes under the purview of errors and omissions. Now, the various receipts and payments that have been recorded, that is the credits and debits of balance of payment. First thing, the receipts from the trade account balance, that is exports or services, interest, profits, and dividend receipts, and the unilateral receipts of the trade account. that is the capital account that is into existence. From the trade account, that is the balances of the debit side, we have imports of services, interest, profits, and dividend paid, and the unilateral payments that is into existence. So in this way, we have the current account, the capital account, and accordingly, each and every account is been balanced. So what is the particular ideal situation? We should have an ideal situation that total receipts must be equal to total payments, and then only we can say that the country is floating or liquidating at a proper position. Now, the disequilibrium in the balance of payment. So, a disequilibrium in the balance of payment means its condition of either a surplus or either of a deficit. So, a surplus in the balance of payment occurs when total receipts exceeds total payment. So, if your total receipts are greater or more than the total payment, then there is a situation of surplus. So, balance of payment is equal to credit is greater than debit. So if at any point of time, if your total receipts are greater than the total payment, then there is a positive situation in the balance of payment. Then there is a surplus situation in the balance of payment. Next situation, a deficit in the balance of payment account. A deficit in balance of payment occurs when total payment exceeds the total receipts. So if your total payments are increasing, if they are exceeding the total receipt situation, if the balance of payment situation wherein the credit is less than debit, then there is a situation of deficit. So a deficit in balance of payment is a concern wherein payments are exceeding the receipts. So payments are more than the receipts, then there is a situation of disequilibrium. Now, the causes of disequilibrium in the balance of payment. So, what are the various causes or what are the various reasons wherein there can be a cause of a disequilibrium in the balance of payment? Why there is a situation that either there is a surplus or either there is a deficit, there is no balance in the balance of payment. The various norms, that is causes with respect to disequilibrium, are the first thing: cyclical fluctuation, shortfall in the exports, economic development, rapid increase in the population, structural changes, natural calamities, and the international capital movement. So in these way, these are the various reasons or these are the various causes due to which there is a disequilibrium in the balance of payment. Now, let's look at the various measures that the government has to undertake. So, what are the various measures that the central government or the state government has to undertake in order to correct or in order to control the disequilibrium in the balance of payment? First thing, the monetary measures. So, what are the various monetary measures that the government can undertake? That are the composition of two types, that is the monetary policy and the fiscal policy. Now, what is the monetary policy? The monetary policy is concerned with the money supply and credit in the economy. So actual liquidity that has been maintained by the Reserve Bank of India or by the central bank in a particular country is the composition of the monetary policy. So the central bank may expand or contract the money supply in the economy through the appropriate measures which fall under the or which affect the prices directly. So at this stage, we need to understand what is the liquidity, what is the supply, and what is the demand for the monetary or the currency into the particular economy, and how the Reserve Bank or the central bank maintains its liquidity. Second, B perspective, that is the fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is the government's policy on income and expenditure of the government transactions. So whatever may be the government transaction of either the receipts and payment concern, so the control of the government policies on the economic, that is the income and expenditure of the government, is the part or the composition of fiscal policy. So the government may take first thing, that is the monetary measure. The monetary measure can be taken either in terms of the monetary policy or the fiscal policy, wherein a proper control, proper coordination either on the receipts and payments or either on the income and expenditure can be maintained by the government, and accordingly monetary measures can be undertaken. Next perspective is the exchange rate depreciation. So whatever may be the exchange rate that is into existence, either which may be related to the repo rate, reverse repo rate, CRR, SLR, and all the exchange rate of the currency valuation, the domestic currency, the valuation of the foreign currency, linking your currency with the dollar currency, euro currency, and so on. So in this way, determining or controlling the exchange rate depreciation or appreciation is also the part of the exchange rate or the monetary policy. Monetary measures that the Reserve Bank of India or the central bank or the government can undertake. And next perspective, last is the devaluation. So controlling the valuation of your currency, either the appreciation or depreciation in the value of currency, wherein your currency may get appreciated, which is a part of evaluation, or the country may get depreciated, which is a part of a devaluation. So we can control this particular perspective in terms of balance of payment to create a certain situation wherein it can be a certain situation of either a deficit or a surplus situation. Non-monetary measures. Now, the non-monetary measures can be with respect to the export promotion and import substitution. So, export promotion, wherein we can control the duties, taxes on the export goods of the exporting of goods and services, on the cash assistance that can be provided, and at several point of time we can take the government can take various measures in order to stimulate the exports at the larger scale. So, in this way, the cash assistance, the export duties, and the goods and services can be exempted from the taxes. So these are the various measures that can be undertaken for the export promotion. For the import substitution, steps can be taken to encourage the production of import substitutes, and this will help to save the foreign exchange in short run by replacing the use of imports by the import substitution. So in this way, we can understand and we can see that the import substitution measures can also be taken by the government, and accordingly, the control on the measures can be undertaken. Now, how do the government can control the import perspective? So the imports can be controlled with the help of quotas, tariffs, and so on. So various measures with respect to the quotas, various measures with respect to the tariff, that is direct taxation and indirect taxation, can be also controlled and can be undertaken, and accordingly the balance of payment situation can be identified and managed by the country or by the nation. Now let's look at the various perspectives of India's balance of payment. A country like India, wherein the path of development is generally at a certain perspective, the balance of payment situation has to be handled very carefully and very effectively. This is because such a country requires imported machines, technology, and capital requirement in order to successfully launch and carry out the programs of industrialization. So as and when we have adopted the policy of industrialization, that is LPG, of liberalization, privatization, and globalization, we at a certain position are on a certain scale wherein we need to control our balance of payment situation, and at every point of time we can see that there is a disequilibrium in the balance of payment. So either we have a certain situation wherein the balance of payment situation is either at a surplus stage or at a negative stage, that is a deficit situation, and there is no proper situation in the balance of payment that is into India. Now, as per the data that has been provided for the year 2015-16, India's current account deficit, that is CAD. So at every stage, we have either the current account deficit or the capital account deficit, or we have CAS, that is current account surplus or capital account surplus. So CAD, that is current account deficit, narrowed to US dollar 6.2 billion, that is 1.2% of the GDP. And in the quarter one, that is 2015-16, from US dollar 7.8 billion, that is 1.6% of GDP in a year. So here at this stage, we can see the current account deficit, that is the negative balance, has increased from 6.2 billion to 7.8 billion. So the capital account deficit is increasing at a very higher rate. The reduction in the capital account deficit was also enabled by the higher net earnings, through which the services and the lower outflow of the accounts of the primary income, that is the profit, dividend, and interest, was also at a major perspective. So in this way, the control on the current account deficit and the capital account deficit was needed to be maintained simultaneously. Financial account with respect to the composition of resident and non-resident is also at a certain major perspective, and the transactions are also recorded at a several point of time. Export related problems. With respect to the exports, we had the various problems with respect to the high prices and the poor quality. So the prices of the goods and services at the international level or the global level was very high, and which were not competent from the Indian perspective to bring the particular situation wherein the price of the domestic country can be matched with the international country. Quality of goods and services, it was observed at the various point of time that the quality of goods and services was quite low, and accordingly, if the quality of goods and services is not competent, then the goods and services are not being adopted and availed by the customers at the international level. Negotiation skills were also very poor. There was inadequate promotion of the or the marketing of goods and services, and lastly, poor follow-up of the sales was also been undertaken. So, if all the situation is not in a balanced situation, then also the export situation is not quite favorable, and India get impacted with this situation. various impacts with respect to the general causes, with respect to the good domestic market. So at this particular stage, the domestic market was also not at a good position, and due to this situation or the concern, the balance of payment situation was unfavorable. Number of formalities, the various formalities with respect to the transaction, with respect to the recording, with respect to the documentation, import and export procedure, documentation formalities was also quite high. And due to this situation, the time lag that has been created in the delivery of goods and services also increased, and accordingly, the balance of payment situation has arisen. Problem of the trading bloc. So with respect to the trading blocks, we have various problems with respect to the ASEAN, SAARC, European Union, NAFTA, AFTA, and so on. So the trading bloc has also created various problems, and accordingly, the transaction or the activity of the export and import was not conducted very effectively, and it has to face the various problems at the international level or at the global level. Negative attitude, the attitude of the people with respect to the export and import of goods and services was also quite negative, and hence it has also directly impacted the situation. So due to this situation, whenever there was a negative attitude from the exporters and the importers, the balance of trade was not at a favorable situation, and it has directly impacted the balance of payment situation, wherein the deficit situation was being observed and it was being identified. And lastly, the poor infrastructure. So the infrastructure that was being made or that was being available for at the international level or at the global level was also not quite feasible. And accordingly, with the lack of infrastructure, with the poor infrastructure that is into existence, the balance of payment situation led to a situation wherein there was a deficit situation at every point of time. So major understanding at this particular stage, in order to conclude with this particular lecture, I would like to state and clarify various perspectives that in order to understand the balance of payment, you need to have a knowledge about the visible item, invisible item, and the reserves and surplus items at this particular stage. You need to understand about the exports, imports, current account, capital account, reserves and surplus account, and the errors and omission account. So in this way, a country's balance of payment may have either a positive situation or a negative situation. If the exports and imports are greater and higher, accordingly, we have a situation of either surplus or deficit. So in this way, we conclude with the today's lecture. Thank you so much for everyone for joining. Thank you. So if you have any questions at this stage, you can please unmute yourself or drop your questions in the chat box. I will answer your questions accordingly.